Hello everyone. In today's video, I'm going to talk about a very important question in reading section. Not just important, it is also one of the confusing and a difficult question for many students. And this question is reorder paragraphs. One of the reasons many of us find reorder paragraphs difficult is because oftentimes the logic that works in one example does not work in the next. And sometimes the paragraphs are too long, sentences are too long and complicated, and sometimes you don't have enough time to read through everything, or unless you spend 4, 5, 6 minutes on one question, you will not be able to answer the question. But in exam, you don't have more than 2 minutes to spend on each question on an average. So how can you answer reader paragraph questions within the given time and also answer it accurately? In order to understand that, what you have to remember is there are different kinds of reader paragraph questions asked in the exam, and each type requires different strategies. You should be able to learn all those strategies and be able to decide which strategy needs to be applied in the given question. So I'm going to show you one question here, as you can see on the screen here. If you want, what you can do is you can pause the video right now and try to answer this question yourself. And then you can compare your answer with my answer. And at the same time, you can also compare the logic you used with the logic I will be explaining to you later on. So this question here has 4 sentences. How do you start? The first thing you do is you read quickly and try to find out which is the first sentence. The trick of finding the first sentence is that the first sentence, which is also called a topic sentence, is an independent sentence and it introduces the topic. Now, what is an independent sentence? An independent sentence is a sentence which does not have any ideas or words that link it to a sentence before it, or it cannot depend on a sentence that comes before it. Now, sometimes what happens in the exam is you may find more than one independent sentence, but only one of them will introduce the topic. In this example, for example, this sentence here looks independent because if you read this sentence, you will not find any words or ideas that it has to depend on to explain the meaning of the sentence, or you don't need any other sentences to understand everything mentioned in this sentence. And the same applies to this sentence as well. For this sentence as well, you don't need any other sentences to understand what it is trying to say. But if you look at this one here, it says, who had the benefit of this assistance, means this assistance means assistance that they have already discussed in one of the sentences before it. They are talking about some kind of assistance before it. So this particular sentence depends on a sentence before it to make sense. Not just that, they say the next one here, it says the conference, and the conference means a conference they have already discussed in one of the previous sentences. So both of these sentences are dependent because of the words I highlighted or I mentioned, this assistance and the conference. Because of these words, we can see that these sentences are dependent on other sentences to make sense. Now, the other 2 remaining sentences here, which one is the first sentence then? As I told you, first sentence is not just an independent sentence, it is also a sentence that introduces the topic. Here, how do we know what is the topic? Topic is usually the most repeated word in the passage or in the paragraph. And if we look carefully, the most repeated word is conference, or something related to conference. And now, if that is the case, and if we look carefully, this sentence does not introduce the topic. This is the sentence that introduces the topic. So, to summarize, this is a sentence which is independent as well as introduces the topic, which makes it the first sentence. Now we need to find out the rest of the sentences and put them in the right order. There are several ways to do that. One of the easiest ways is to start with an easy pair. So what is an easy pair? Easy pair means you find 2 sentences which are linked to each other in some ways, and you also know in what order these sentences should be in that pair. So as an example here, this sentence here is talking about this assistance. Now, anytime you see this followed by a word, what you have to remember is there must be a sentence before it which has the same word in one or in the same form or in a different form. What that means is I just need to find out a sentence talking about assistance. Either that one is this or this, and I'll make my pair. And if I look carefully here, I see the word assist. Assist and assistance are talking about the same thing, and this assistance means it's talking about assistance mentioned before. And logically what that means is this and this make a pair. This sentence comes before this sentence, and that gives me a good pair, an easy pair. And that's what I'm going to do here. So I'll just drag it to this side and I'll make a pair out of these 2. Now, What you have to remember here is, now we still have one sentence left here. This sentence is either the last sentence or the second sentence. Why? Because this is an unbreakable pair. The ideas in these two sentences are linked and they are already in the right order. So nothing can come between them. Anything that is left can either come before this pair or after this pair. So see how it makes everything easy, because now I only have to make one decision, and that is where the remaining sentence goes. And if I look carefully, I might be able to find the right place for this remaining sentence as well. And how can I do that? First is, I can check if the sentence, if there can be any missing idea between these two sentences. And what I can see here is they are saying the university will host its second annual Arts and Commerce Career Readiness Conference on campus next month. And this one is saying the conference. So you can see that these two are actually talking about conference. And this sentence, by writing the conference, is linking it back to the first sentence. So these are making a good pair, and I cannot break it. That means nothing can come between these two sentences. It's talking about conference. This one is saying the conference. And by saying the conference, it's talking about this readiness conference. So nothing can come between these two. These two are already a good pair, so nothing can come between these two. So the only place left is this here. So this is the last sentence. So you can see that this is one of the several ways we can do reorder paragraph question. Now, for those of you who will be following me on YouTube for the next few days, what I want you to remember is reorder paragraph needs several strategies. This is one of them, and you have to learn all of these strategies. Now, if your exam is coming up and then you want to learn all of these strategies for reorder paragraph as well as all other types of questions, you can go to our website, enroll in one of the courses, and then watch all the videos as many times as you want. Or if you have plenty of time and you're taking it slow, then you can wait for the next video to come on YouTube. Learn these strategies one at a time on YouTube and apply them during the practice. So do things, learn the strategies. Second, practice using those strategies. If possible, try to get feedback. If you do it adequately, if you do it enough number of times, you'll be able to answer all kinds of reorder paragraph questions without any problem. I hope you'll be able to apply these skills in your next practice, and I'll see you in my next video. Until then, stay safe.